Thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it. When you are in any type of role or with the team, whether it be in school and in sports, in business, small and large, in families, of course, and yes, in government, you take these opportunities that you have and working together, and often what you find is that you're going to have these wins and these losses that occur over those days. You certainly try to learn and then improve from the losses that occur, but also you want to celebrate those wins and then reach even higher if you can to accomplish even more for the entity that you're working with. And in this case, in Sioux Falls City government, it was reaching even higher for the citizens that we're serving. Once a year over the last 8 years, we've just taken a small bit of time to celebrate some of those wins that we had over the prior year. Some of those biggest accomplishments that all of the Sioux Falls City team and so many others were trying to make happen. What I wanted to do today was just to even kind of look back one final time over the last 8 years, recognizing that we've accomplished so much for this great city. And I just wanted to take a small bit of time to kind of give you my own personal reflection in terms of what I believe are the top 10 biggest wins or biggest accomplishments that the city of Sioux Falls has accomplished over the last 8 years. I just want to let you know I'm so proud of all of you, though. We are going to provide the media a list of those top 10 wins from 2010, 11, and on. And so for me to take the 10 biggest in my mind almost kind of takes away some of the good things that have happened from the entire team. I'm not trying to do that, but I thought at a minimum I'd let you know what I think were the top 10 biggest. So here we go. First of all, number 10. When I was running for mayor back in 2009, 2010, one of the things that I'll just wholeheartedly remember in one of the debates was that I did say that I think that we could do some things to really improve our airport in terms of getting people to choose Sioux Falls FSD as the place to fly into and the place to fly out of. I took some criticism back then to say, you know what, there's really not much that we can do. Well, we did. We tackled this topic in a big way, and the way that city government and yes, this mayor could make an impact was to work with the airport authority. The mayor does have the ability to put members on that board. And I don't know if you remember coming right out of the blocks. I came out of my office, walked into here, and I had two outstanding women leaders in our city that ultimately wanted to make a difference with that airport. They wanted to put more and more focus and energy and attention on that leisure and business traveler. And my goodness, did they ever. Dan Letlier, the airport authority, they really have tackled so many things over the last 8 years and ultimately made Sioux Falls the chosen place once again to fly in and out of. So many upgrades were made to our airport. We've got additional flying options, such as bringing Frontier Airlines into the mix. And yet, yes, when you enhance that competition, when you spur on that hunger to try to garner that next dollar when it comes to that flyer, prices do go down, and ultimately they did. Dan Letlier, I want to thank you. Airport Authority, I want to thank you. They have taken those dollars that they had in that piggy bank, they've used them incredibly wisely, as well as they've tried to stay one step ahead of the ever-changing airline industry, and Sioux Falls has reaped the rewards because of it. Number 9. You've heard me talk so often about the importance of good neighbors, but also how in this town we were going to try to get some of those bad neighbors to understand just how important it is that they kind of get with the flow. I love what we've done when it comes to things like public safety, working with these neighborhoods, working in collaboration, not only knowing the good things that are going on in each neighborhood, but also identifying some of the bad things that are going on, and then working in collaboration with things like neighborhood priests and things like that. But also taking code enforcement to a new level. That has been a wonderful, wonderful impact on this great city. And when you put it all together, holding people accountable, rallying the good neighbors to get involved more and more, and creating things like neighborhood watches or these neighborhood organizations, it really, really has made an impact. And maybe that's just one of the reasons that 91% of the citizens of Sioux Falls believe that Sioux Falls is a good or great place to live. 91%. I'll put that up against any city in America. Great job, Sioux Falls. Proud of you. Number 8, and I'm so glad the media is here for this one. And I'm going to try one more time to recognize the city employees, 3 labor unions working in collaboration with city government to tackle something that other counties, other states, all of America won't even touch. It's called pension reform. We did it in Sioux Falls. We had 1,300 city employees that found that common ground, that worked together in collaboration to ultimately tackle something that is so important for our city, for our employees, and yes, for our taxpayers. Media, Sioux Falls, get a load of this. Thanks to their efforts, thanks to their decision-making, thanks for their coming together, we are going to save $300 million over the next 25 to 30 years because they were willing to tackle pension reform. And it's a topic that no one really knows about. City employees, I do. And I'm really, really proud of you for having the guts to do it. It is a monster accomplishment. And I hope that people realize it and will celebrate it just like I have. Number 7. One last time, I'm going to talk about repair, rebuild, and replace. And it's not just roads. It's all these things that we really, really care about in the city of Sioux Falls, from parks to sewer lines to bike trails to city buildings, and yes, to roads. We tackled almost 500 miles of road repair over the last 8 years. And just so incredibly excited about doing that. And then you throw in these upgrades that we've made to our technology. Again, that is infrastructure. Those are the basic fundamental things that your city runs on, including how we manage our city's finances. And it really has been something that will set the stage, lay a solid foundation for generations and generations to come. In Sioux Falls, I also need to talk to the people of South Dakota right now. South Dakota, this is also a really, really strong recipe for your town and your state as well. The things that we've done in Sioux Falls over the last 8 years when it came to this investing in infrastructure, it is a recipe that I would encourage all of you to incorporate in the years to come. But oh boy, they are expensive, but they're an incredibly worthy investment. Number 6. I came from a background where we had to manage our finances in a very, very tight way. And it was done differently in terms of, there we were profit driven. Here in the city of Sioux Falls, you're not profit driven, but you are driven to really take these taxpayer dollars and manage them as prudently and as wisely as you possibly can. And that's something in South Dakota that we've always tried to do, and certainly in Sioux Falls we've certainly tried to do as well. But our city's finances, they are rock solid right now. I know you hear every now and then about out of control this or out of control that, and what I'll tell you is that I would put our city's finances up against any in America right now. We really are rock solid, and it didn't come just because of a finance team, but I really relish our finance team. I'll tell you, we had, again, 1,300 employees, 12 city departments, a fiscally conservative city council, and more that were working together. What we're doing is we centralized services. We really made some tough decisions when it came to prioritizing where we're going to spend our money. We manage costs and FTEs very, very frugally and prudently. Yes, this mayor signed off on every single FTE request over the last 8 years. We are doing more with less. My goodness gracious, Sioux Falls, we've added the city of Aberdeen onto Sioux Falls in only 8 years. And these city employees, they have worked in an incredible way to do more with less. Because I guarantee you, we've not added as many employees that are in Aberdeen city government over the last 8 years than they have. We've added very few. Most of them have been in public safety, and that was a very, very critical need. But the others, they truly were doing even more for the citizens that we serve, and I just so proud of them. Our piggy bank is full. It is. The city council sets a goal of a 25% operating reserve. Well, we're exceeding that. And hey, if you could just help me get this word out, because no one really is paying attention to it. And I don't even know if people believe it, but it's real. Our city's debt per capita is actually lower now than it was when I started. And that includes finally tackling some long overdue and needed investments in our great city. In 2010, our debt per capita was $1,751. In 2018, it is $1,728. We actually have less debt per capita than we had 8 years ago. The city of Fargo, a peer city, they have 3 times the debt per capita than Sioux Falls has. Omaha, Nebraska, another peer city, they have double the debt per capita than Sioux Falls has. Sioux Falls, we really manage your debt very, very tightly, very, very prudently, and we're still making good things happen when it comes to investing in our great city. Proud of you, Sioux Falls. Now, those are our 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Let's go to our top 5, at least in my mind, our city's top 5. And this one was close, because part of me almost wanted to make it number 1. One of the things that the next mayor, the next council, the next batch of citizens are going to have to understand is that some of these things are going to come at you that you have absolutely no idea they're going to happen one morning or one night. And that involves Mother Nature. Since I have been your mayor, since I've had the pleasure to serve you, just want to kind of give you a flavor. We've had 3 100-year rain events. We've had 1 300-year rain event. We've had 1 1,000-year rain event. We had a 14.5-inch snowstorm in late April. We had an ice storm that probably was one of the greatest weather-related emergencies in our city's history. And then We had this and we had that when it involves Mother Nature. And mark my words, Sioux Falls, there will be another one. Don't know when, but there will be another one. All these things happened in just the last 8 years, and every time that it did, we responded in an even stronger fashion. When we have these weather-related emergencies, we get even better. We're ready for the next one. So whenever it comes our way, we will be ready. But I'm really, really proud of it because these instances, such as that ice storm, those were the times where we really rallied together as a community, just like we used to do in the olden days. I'll never forget that ice storm, Sioux Falls, and neither will you. It's in our top 5, and it certainly deserves to be. Tackling weather-related emergencies as a team, as a group of citizens, we do it well. Number 4. When I was running for mayor back in 2009 and 2010, I started my campaign in downtown Sioux Falls. Was not doing well. We had storefronts all over the place that were closed. We had businesses downtown that were certainly struggling just to keep up with their payroll. They were trying to figure out what they were going to do next. We had stories upon stories of buildings or of rooms that had really nothing in it. Our downtown was really, really struggling. It wasn't dead, but it was dying. Not anymore. Our downtown is our city's heartbeat, and it is pumping in ways that you cannot imagine right now. Just so incredibly proud of the way that public has worked with private in a collaborative way to make investments to really make this heart pump and pump stronger and pump stronger, and ultimately it will even pump stronger. I had a goal when I was elected mayor back in 2010, and I tried to express it, and I know that I took some criticism when I touched about this. But yeah, I knew that Sioux Falls was the place to work 8 to 5, Monday through Friday. I got that. I also knew that downtown Sioux Falls was the place to play. I got that. On a Friday afternoon at 5 o'clock until a Sunday afternoon, maybe around 2 or 3, yeah, downtown Sioux Falls was the place to play. But in my mind, because of the things that I had done all across the country, I had seen vibrant downtowns. And vibrant downtowns, they are most vibrant. Their heartbeat pumps even stronger when you make your downtown the place to live. And that's what we've done. Downtown is the chosen place to live, not only for the young, but also for the active generation, not only for the rich, but also for those of more limited means. It is the place to be. And again, thanks to, 8 TIFs that we've done in downtown Sioux Falls that support about $150 million in investments. Thanks to $105 million in public money that was put in our downtown Sioux Falls, such as the rail yard redevelopment project, the city administration building, libraries, parks, and yes, millions and millions of dollars of infrastructure such as roads and so much more. And then when you throw in $234 million worth of private investment into downtown over the last 8 years, you're going to take a really, really struggling downtown in 2009, 2010, to one that is just pumping and pumping strong. And we're not done. It is my number 4 in terms of what I believe is our top 10 win, but it's going to get even better in the years to come. Just watch us. Number 3. We tackled some quality of life dreams over the last 8 years that we just couldn't make happen. Some started in the 1960s, some started in the 1980s, Some started, just years, generations earlier. But we did tackle them, and we actually made them happen. And our quality of life has never been better in the city of Sioux Falls than it is right now. And it took our citizens to support these efforts, support these investments to ultimately make them happen. Of course, we've got our new events center. Of course, we've got our new indoor aquatics facility. Of course, we've got these unbelievable parks that are within a half mile of every home in our great city, and so much more. Phase 1, Phase 2 of the River Greenway, and on and on and on. No wonder 88% of the people that live here think that we've got a good or a great quality of life. I don't know what the other 1 out of 10 are thinking, or what more that they want. But, you throw in a Levitt Shell in downtown. You throw in an even more vibrant downtown that's soon to come with the investments in our rail yard redevelopment property and the Sioux Steel property and so much more. And yes, you throw in an environment where people are still building businesses here. My gut says that 1 out of 10 that doesn't think that we're good or great in terms of our quality of life right now, I think we're going to get them. I think we're going to be getting them, Sioux Falls. Number 2, when you are in government, when you want to be a public servant, whether it be a town, whether it be a city, whether it be a county, whether it be a state, or whether it be nationally, so often it comes down to, as they'll say, it's the economy, stupid. Well, I wish it was just that simple. But the economy in Sioux Falls is just rocking right now. When you consider that we've had 5 straight years of record-breaking construction, and I strongly believe we'll break it for a 6th straight year. When you look at all the bevy of jobs that have been created, white-collar, blue-collar, gray-collar jobs across all kinds of great industries in the city of Sioux Falls, the help wanted signs that are everywhere. We've cut our unemployment rate in half in only 8 years. And then you throw in this confidence level. We don't believe that there's anything that we cannot do right now in Sioux Falls. Our economy is rocking. And, I do understand that economies have strengthened all across America. I get that. But when you look at what we've been able to accomplish in Sioux Falls, it's just been tremendous. That's why, in my mind, the number 2 accomplishment for our great city involves our economic boomtown that we've created here in the city of Sioux Falls. And now, before I go back to what I consider the number 1 win over the last 8 years, I just did want to relay another thank you to all of the people that have been in the arena with me. I just can't thank you enough. It truly has been a collaborative effort, a team effort. So many things have been accomplished, and I certainly am unbelievably proud of all of you. But with that in mind, here is what I believe has been the number 1 accomplishment over the last 8 years, and it's one that I almost gave up on. When you are in government, you do find that it is a bit more challenging at times. But if you don't give up, if you maintain the effort to work collaboratively, to communicate, to find common ground, to think outside the box, to ultimately make things happen for the people that you serve, even those things that you want to give up on, if you stay in the fight, you can get it done. And we prove that with the number 1 win that I believe we've had since 2010. And that is the city of Sioux Falls. We were able to purchase the downtown rail yard from BNSF Railway Company. This thing started in 2005, thanks to the work of so many. Senator Thune, Senator Johnson, Representative Hearst Sandlin at the time, governors, mayors, so many other community leaders. They started it in 2005, but we actually were able to ink the deal about 10 years later. And I do strongly believe that when we look back at this, I think it has the potential to be the biggest win in Sioux Falls history. These 10 acres of land are going to transform our entire city in ways that we cannot even comprehend right now. Our downtown is not going to be the same. And I love it. I love it. Economic development, the intent of the earmark, when the U.S. citizens, again, that's the United States citizens, when they entrusted us with their hard-earned taxpayer dollars and said, we'll give you this if it spurs on economic development in your downtown and in your city. That's exactly what we have planned for it. And it's going to happen, and it will spur on improvements for generations to come. And that's why I believe it's the #1 win over the last 8 years. City employees, I thank you. Business leaders, I thank you. Community leaders, those investors, those dreamers, those builders, I thank you. Other entities in government, whether it be federal government, state government, county government, I thank you. And one more thank you. Our government works in Sioux Falls, works really, really well. It is collaborative, it is communicative, it is transparent, and it works. The executive branch, the judicial branch, and the legislative branch working in concert to get things done. And you can't have a record of success like we've had over the last 8 years unless you are working collaboratively with our city council. Everything that we wanted to try to get done, we were able to make happen thanks to the collaborative efforts of our city council. Now, the reality is sometimes it took 8 votes. Sometimes it took 5 votes. Sometimes we had 4 councilors vote no and 4 councilors vote yes. And the mayor broke the tie and we still got something done for the people that we served. And yes, there were a couple of instances where it took 3 councilors standing beside me to help make that a reality. But Sioux Falls city government works, and it works extremely well. It has been an honor and a pleasure to serve with these city councilors over the years. They have made sacrifices that you cannot believe, and it's been an honor to serve beside them and the employees of Sioux Falls and the citizens of Sioux Falls. Working together, there is absolutely nothing that we did not accomplish. Working together, there has been nothing that we did not accomplish. I'm proud of you, Sioux Falls. Thank you.